9. Honourable Member for Middle, Mr. Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask the Minister for Policy and Reform what implications the 2021 census has for the eastern, northern and western area plans.
The Minister for Policy and Reform, Mr. Harmer.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I thank the Honourable Member for his question. The area plan for the East is due to be brought before this Court in October 2020. The next census, which is continuing for now as planned in 2021, will not impact directly on the process for adopting the plan or bringing it before Tynwald for approval. The area plan for the North and West will be drafted in line with the Isle of Man strategic plan, but we will have regard to the latest figures from 2016. The process may not be unlike that followed for the East plan in the latter stages, where the most up-to-date government-agreed population projections influence the final proportion of allocated site and strategic reserves. I must say that the formal statutory plan process for the North and West has yet to start, but there is sufficient data available to continue to move the delivery of the Island Development Plan forward outside of the timetable for the next census and the data from which will flow from it, which is likely to be available in 2022. It's fair to say that in terms of planning policy, what we've learned that even if the new data projection data becomes available throughout the course of an active plan process, the plan and proposals within it can react.
Supplementary, Mr. Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I'm grateful to the Minister for his reply. Is the Minister aware that the Eastern Area Plan has been dogged with controversy due to the disconnect between the inflated population projections agreed for the 2015 strategic plan and the reality? The 2016 census confirmed a decline in population, and every year since then there has been a growing credibility gap on the population projections. Would he agree that we should learn from these mistakes and await the 2021 census before finalising area plans?
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr. President. The whole purpose of the area plan and the Eastern Area Plan is that it can adapt to changes in populations, that can adapt to changes related to COVID and all the other economic factors. That's why there's an inbuilt flexibility in the plan. Figures are important, but also being reasonable when using these figures and ensuring that where necessary there's sufficient checks and balances in place to properly plan the REIS. Thanks.
Further supplementary, Mr. Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr. President. When the Minister talks about an inbuilt flexibility, is he talking about the strategic reserve areas, over 20 of which have been identified in the East Area Plan and currently blighting many residents, particularly those living in the middle constituency, because they relate to Manx countryside? Would it not be possible to await the 2021 census to ascertain the demand? If we are serious about evidence-based policy making, this is the right course of action. And in the meantime, could we not apply a renewed focus on the development of brownfield sites ahead of the Manx countryside? Thank you.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not intending to delay the Eastern Area Plan. I think a lot of work has been done, a lot of investigation has been done. There are many other issues as well as those that the member highlights. I don't think it would be right to delay the Eastern Area Plan, and the intention is to bring that to October Tynwald, and obviously all the views at that time can be taken by this court.
Honourable Member Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the light of the announced cancellation of the 2021 census, and in the light of the population issues, is the Minister mindful that the Tynwald resolution of October 2019 might be helpful, because that could take out the population from the strategic plan and put it in the context of a national policy directive? Could the Minister take that back to the officers to see what they think about it at least?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's no cancellation of the 2021 census. Never has been a cancellation of the 21 2021 census. That is carrying on as planned. There was obviously there's been talk in another jurisdiction about the purpose of censuses and whether we can actually gather data better and continually, rather than going into a one-off event every 10 years. That debate is still carrying on, but what I can absolutely say to this court, absolutely, we emergency dependent. We are cracking on with the 2021 census.